What's going on, guys? This is Aaron from Departures Capital, and we're here with Dr. Dave Webb, President, CEO, and Director of 60 North Gold Mining. Pleasure to have you back on today, Dave, especially with gold doing well. A lot's changed since we last spoke. How are you doing?
Doing great. I mean, what's not to like? Gold is pushing up there near generational highs. Good time to be in the gold market. And over the
Exactly.
last,
Definitely. So can you give us an update on 60 North Gold Mining? Tell our viewers everything that you've been up to since we last spoke.
wow. Yeah, the 3 minute pitch is we have been continuing to develop our mine. So we had the misfortune of being in the wildfires last year. We had to evacuate our camp and surroundings, pull our watchmen out, and then the wildfires came through and dealt us a glancing blow. So we lost our camp and two pickup trucks, uh, cost them about $100,000, and it took us 7 months of negotiating and dealing with insurance companies, providing receipts, etc., to receive a $388,000 settlement. The bump up over what we lost was we do have to clean up the burnt material. So there's a cost there that was accommodated. So not much was done, but it's what we're preparing to do that's important.
Definitely. So could you provide us an overview of 60 North Gold Mining's recent developments, particularly regarding the proposed unit offering and plans for the Mon property in Yellowknife, Northwest Territories?
Yeah, we have announced, it was last week that we announced a fundraising to raise $690,000 at a nickel. It's a unit financing with an 8-cent 2-year warrant. There is an acceleration clause on that, but that's not for people in the US to hear about. That's a secret as far as the border is concerned.
Hmm.
With these funds, we can go back into the mine. We can replace our trailer camp with a tent camp, a temporary camp. But it will allow our miners to go in and operate, continue to push the 200-meter long ramp, which we had to stop at 132 meters. But we can push that to our target area and then cut into the high-grade vein. Uh, the vein is that we're targeting is below some past producing stopes. So these are areas that had been mined historically in the 1990s. We took out 15,000 tons at 1 ounce per ton. So really sweet, really nice grade material. And uh, by mining 20 meters below it, we expect to get similar grades. We have drill holes that go through this, but we do not have any resources or reserves. We've opted instead to just mine it out and put it up on surface.
So the recent press release mentions the company's intention to raise funds through a non-brokered private placement. Could you elaborate on how these funds will be utilized to drive the company's objectives forward?
Yeah, the vast majority of the funds will be spent on the ground. There is no outstanding debt. There's to suppliers, to service providers. It's going into the ground, with the exception of we do have to pay our auditors and accountants, and we have to pay filing fees to keep listed as a public company. So the funds that are raised will get us down to the level we want to get to, where we have some high grade drill holes we're going to be cutting into. We'll be extracting that, bringing it up on surface, and hopefully getting everyone excited. We have a surface, it's called the crown pillar. It's a very top part of the mine uh, that we channel sampled across, and it's about 100 meters long, about 2 meters wide, and averaged over 130 grams of gold per ton. So it's an exceedingly high grade deposit, and it allows us to mine it. And because we have permits to mine it, we also have permits to mill it. So we're the only permitted mine and mill in the Northwest Territories.
Wow, that's some important work that you're doing right now. So regarding the development plans for the Mon property, what specific strategies does 60 North have in place to mitigate the impact of external factors such as wildfires and things that happened in the past?
Yeah, and that's an issue. First of all, we started mining during COVID, and the Northwest Territories went on lockdown. Nobody in or out unless you were an essential service provider, which miners were. It generates about 30% of their gross domestic product. So they wanted to keep the diamond mines going, and they didn't want to exclude all us little guys that were developing our mine. So it was difficult. It made it just slowed things down. And then the wildfires, of course, came through and burnt all around us, but it didn't touch our mine. So all the scoop trans, bulldozers, jumbos are 150,000 liters of diesel fuel. You know, I was not sleeping well at night watching the fires go through on satellite images, and our 15 tons of high explosives, all were spared. Fortunately, it's all burned around us, so I'm pretty sure forest fires are not a concern this year. Maybe in 10 or 15 years, it will be an issue. Smoke is always an issue, but these outside or external factors like COVID, we might be hit with a flu epidemic. I don't know. There are risks, but these are external factors that everyone places and faces as risk. We just need to mine. So because we have all the permits, we can do that. Because we have miners available to us and a top-rated operations group, it's simple to do what we did when we pushed the first 132 meters in. We'll just continue doing that. The management people, if you look at the board of 60 North, you'll see that we're stacked with ex-mining people or current mining people with our chairman, our chief financial officer, our corporate development guy's a PEng, and he was a mine finance guy in New York for a while. So we have the capacity to do all this, and the risks, in my opinion, are minimal. I currently own about 25% of the company. Management insiders own about 45% of the company. I hope to participate in this placement to keep my 25% interest. Perhaps I'll increase it a little bit. Nickel financings are hard to come by. It's a great deal, in my opinion.
Especially in the gold sector right now. So given the recent challenges faced by 60 North, such as the wildfires, how does the company adapt and ensure resilience in the face of, unpredictable circumstances?
We have a good group. So we have the ability to sit back when we're getting hit on all sides and live through it. You get people like myself, John Campbell, Tom McNeil, and others. And some of our large shareholders will sit back and don't worry about it, Dave. You have another payment coming up to maintain the leases. It's done. You have no money? Don't worry, it'll be done. So you'll see we don't currently have any debt like that in the company, but in the past, yes, I put in an extra 125,000 to carry the company through a tight time. Unsecured, no interest bearing, just pay me back when you get the money. So that's how junior companies do it. They really don't have much choice.
Mm-hmm. And it's great to have people like you supporting it. So, with the completion of the unit offering and ongoing developments at the Mon property, what milestones or achievements does 60 North anticipate in the near future? How do these contribute to the company's overall trajectory and value proposition for investors?
Well, first, the opening of the champagne. Once the mine starts, so that will happen in late May, early June, we'll have the crews in there. And that's just a season thing. Why start it when there's snow on the ground? Let's just wait for the optimal time. So we'll be in on the ground, and it will take us quite literally 20 shifts to reach target. We'll bring in 2 crews, so that'll be 10 days. And we're at target, and now we're cutting into a vein. And the mineralization at these grades are very visible. You see it right off the bat, big chunks of gold dripping out of the rock. Lovely sight to see. And when you're running the drills into the rock, you can sit there with a gold pan and catch the slurry that's being washed out, pen it on the spot, and know whether you've got, I almost said the word or, gold bearing quartz vein material or non-gold bearing material coming out. And that's a real benefit. I spent 40 years in Yellowknife, and my eyesight's going on me a little bit now. But for many decades, you could run the mines by eyesight. A good geologist could see whether it's going to make ore or not at the Con mine or at some of these other mines in the area. So that's a huge milestone, and that could happen in late June, early July. We'll be bringing up that material, putting it on a pile on surface. And, if it's 100 tons, and think 5 end dump trucks, that's the 20-ton trucks, that's about 100 tons or 1,000 tons. This is our target to bring it up. But we know that our costs in manpower, fuel consumption, and equipment, and maintaining the camp, et cetera, the all-in cost, it's going to be somewhere around $150 we're projecting and planning on to mine a ton of rock. So if we want to take out 1,000 tons, that's 150 grand. But 1,000 tons arguably should contain about 1,000 ounces. Again, that's our plan. That's a lot of value.
And that's going to come soon. You said, this summer. So it's going to be an exciting year for you guys. So as a younger investor interested in the stock market, why should they first choose to invest into gold stocks, and more specifically 60 North compared to its competitors? I'd love to hear your opinion.
Yeah, well, I think I made a note said we have no competitors, but that's a blatant lie. There are competitors out there for money. So there are exploration companies that wish to drill off 4, 5, 6 million ounces of gold and get bought out by Goldcorp or Newmont or whatever. That is the standard way to go, and it does happen. I mean, Aurelian happened, Great Bear happened. These companies do advance and progress, but I'll point out that Great Bear didn't have a single ounce of reserves or resources when it got bought out. It just had a really good zones that it kept drilling off in a really good neighborhood. And that's the key. Like real estate, go into a good neighborhood where people can say, oh, that kind of mine exists there. Well, yeah, this is what you expect. My father was a geologist, and he had a statement that I've led on to people. He said, if you're going to go to Africa to shoot elephants, and this was quite a while before nobody would go to Africa and shoot elephants. But back then, if you were doing it and you hired a bunch of people from Calgary and you said, hop on the plane, guys, you're going to go shoot elephants. And they said, what's an elephant? It's really big and it's gray. Every damn barn in Saskatchewan would get shot. So you have to know what to expect and where to expect it. Get your head around that. And with my 40 years experience in Yellowknife, and with Jerry Hess, our senior operations advisor, Rod McKay, our mine manager, and the crews that come in, they've been there, they've done that in this area. So we know what we're doing.
Well, thank you for the information and updates, Dave. It's going to be an exciting year for the company, an exciting year for gold. And, I look forward to having you back on for more updates as things progress.
Hope to be here and bring some little samples or big samples as the case may be. Appreciate it, Aaron.